What's going on, YouTube modeling community? Pappy here at West Georgia Rods and Customs. I am at the 2024 Upscale South Carolina Modelers Association model contest here in Simpsonville, South Carolina. And I found me some victims that's going to do the 10 questions with a modeler. And we're going to start off with this gentleman right here, Mr. Kelly Coons. He's got Model Car Archaeology is his channel. If y'all not subscribed to him, get subscribed to him. Thank you. Appreciate you coming in. Good to see you again, Kelly.
Thank you.
We got Mr. Gary Seeds here with his channel, hanging with Mr. G Seeds. Awesome content creator and real builder. This gentleman builds real cars. So if you got any questions, drop me some questions down below and he'll answer them. And this gentleman right here, Mr. Rocky Raccoon himself. I always like calling him that. At Star City Modeling. Good to have you, Rocky. Long trip and journey from the hills of Virginia. All right, fellas. First question. Why or who got you started into building models? How about you, Kelly?
All right. This is going to answer another question, but a buddy of mine named Steven Sellers, for my 6th birthday, gave me a Revell Prior Mitsubishi Vega funny car.
Wow.
Revell.
That's
funny car, 6 years old.
You just dated yourself, bro.
Yeah, I know. And I've loved them ever since.
Wow. So, yeah. That's a very sought after kit. But what you say? That would have been around 70s. Yeah. That's. How about you, Gary?
I'm guessing it was the fact I had a brother that's 10 years older than me. So when I was 5, 6 years old, he was 15, 16 years old and building models. And as soon as he'd leave the house, I'd grab them and break them. And
starting to learning how things go together real fast.
And about that time, this was around 1966, my mom had bought me a Batman model car. And,
old Batmobile.
Yeah, and just to mention the funny car that you built, the guy that taught me how to paint when I was a kid painted that funny car.
Wow.
Yeah, you tell me
the yellow Vega. Yeah. Yep.
I bet it was metal flake too, because I know back in the days, those old cars had a lot of metal flake.
A lot of pearl on that.
A lot of pearl, yeah. How about you, Rocky?
All right, well, nobody actually was around me who did modeling. We was just going to the Five and Dimes and the local hobby shops, which we had a bunch there in town. And just, I guess when I was about 5, 6 years old, just started picking up models and snap tights, the old snap tights, and started building. Pretty simple, you know.
Yeah, that's always the best way to do it too.
You know, every time you go, you'd say, "Well, pick up another model instead of a ball." Or something.
blow your allowance. That's the way I did. Oh mate. As for me, I had a next door neighbor, which we lived in the country, and I mean, I couldn't throw a rock and hit their house. That's how far our houses were divided. But it was our next door neighbor's grandson, and he had an old. He would come and visit his grandmother, and he'd always bring a model kit. And I remember he had I think it was an old 55 panel wagon Revell kit, F100, and he, of course, it was a glue bomb. But I remember him taking, of course, he only had one color, the square bottle tester, and he put beer. He painted beer on it. I thought that was pretty cool. So, but he got that to me, and then when I remember my allowance was like $3 a week. And I mean, the grass better be cut, the yard better be tip top. And I'd take that $3 and I'd go to Kmart, I think, and that's when they were selling models. So, but yeah, his name was Kenny Harris. Man, he's long gone now. But he's the one that got me involved into it. Question number 2. When you're building, do you listen to music, watch TV, or YouTube while you're doing that? How about you, Kelly?
A combination of both. I listen to music, watch YouTube. Depends on how well my computer's working that day. I'm still kind of old. I'm looking for a new service right now because it takes forever to upload a YouTube video from the house. Yeah. I like some of the rock music, so that's, so I just listen to that. Or sometimes I just turn everything down and listen to the wife in the living room, listen to the Lifetime murder mysteries.
Dang, I think we're married to sisters. How about you, Gary?
I watch a little bit of YouTube because I've got a big screen out there in the model car room.
Yeah.
I don't listen to a whole lot of music anymore because I'm just over the music. So if I have the radio on, it's usually a talk show. I'll listen to people talk all day because it makes me feel like there's somebody there talking.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I'm a talk radio guy.
Oh, cool.
That's what I play.
How about you, Rocky?
I guess I'm another one that's, I'm not a big music lover, so mainly I just have the TV on in the background and just be watching something or listening to it, and watch some of the YouTube channels, try to catch up on them during the build.
So this old goat right here, I'll tell y'all a funny little story. I listen to music, which I love old rock and roll, which I grew up on Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Allman Brothers, love Allman Brothers. But a lot of times I'll take my earbuds, and I have to go in there and tell Vicky, I'm gonna have my earbuds in here. I'm gonna be jamming. I'm gonna be in my zone. And because if she don't, because usually there is a 6-hour 9mm laying right there beside me at all time in all rooms. And I will, she'll come in there sometimes. I said, you have to touch me. And because she has come in there and I not know she's in there, and I'll turn around and I'll be like, oh, God, no, don't scare me like that. But yeah, but as far as, I can't watch TV. I got a big screen TV behind me, which I'm glad it's behind me because if not, I never would get nothing built. So, anywho, number 3. Each of you, question is, on a 1-to-1 scale hot rod? Bet you kid.
I do not. I just purchased a 2023 Challenger GT.
That's a hot rod.
And it's a V6, but it's a hot rod.
Yep.
And I've had a Challenger. My wife and I've had Challengers since 2012. We've had 5 of them. So I just love the car. So that's I need something. I don't have a place to store anything like that. So.
About you, Gary? I already know this question.
Yeah, well,
or the answer.
Ever since I was probably 12 or 13 years old, I've always had some kind of a project car. I've owned over 200 cars, everything from 63 Impalas to 57 Chevys to Vegas, you name it. And at this present time, I've got a 65 Chevy Biscayne that I've got a 396 and a 4-speed I'm putting in it. It's going to be a very 1970s style street machine, hot rod. But yeah, I've always got to have something going on.
Other than plastic.
Yeah, other than the plastic.
Rocky, what you got?
I don't actually have a 1-1 hot rod where I actually run daily, but my family and I do have a private Chevrolet GM museum, and we've got 17 cars in there, and then memorabilia from Chevrolet dealerships and stuff like that and all.
Oh, so, cool. That's nice. As far as for me, I ain't got nothing in the stables anymore. I grew up a hot rodder. I've always had something varying from 69 Camaros to Chevelles to 4-wheel drives. And then I got bit by the Harleys. Oh my God, y'all know what the initials HD stand for, and it's not Harley Davidson. It's a $100 bill every time you walk in that shop. And I'm like, yeah. And Vicky and I just recently we had an Ultra Classic, which we like traveling on it, but it spent more time in the garage than me making payments, insurance payments, and Harley payments each month. I was like, I can buy my own kids. Oh boy. All right, we're going to talk about model stashes. Do y'all have a big model stash, a small model stash, or do you build one kit at a time? How about you, kid?
I've got a fairly large model stash. I probably got well over 1,000. And sadly, they're not. It's called my channel's called Model Car Archaeology because I have to go to the dungeon and dig these things out because they're stored in boxes. And my wife and I have been married for almost 31 years, and I had started my 3rd collection right before she and I got married. So I've been, for 30-some years on this collection.
So you got a large stash.
Sometimes it's easier to buy a kit than to find the kit that's in the basement.
It is. Yeah, I've done that before too. How about you, Gary?
You know, I've gone up and down over the years, where I've had 1,000 kits, where I've had 80 kits. You know, I usually average around between $200 and $300, 200 and 300 kits at any one time. And you know, I told myself today when I came to the show, I need glue. I don't need any more kits. I just need glue. Well, I've already walked out the door with 3 kits this morning.
Oh, gosh,
And,
that's funny.
Show's only halfway over. So
Yeah, God help us. Yeah. What about you, Rocky?
So I guess the first stash I had built up over years, I sold out and just started from scratch again. But I guess somewhere right now I'm up around maybe 400, 450 kits.
So, man, we are hoarders. All right, I'm gonna have to probably. I know the questions. One of y'all's gonna ask this. What about the Chevelle collection? I knew this was. Yep, I knew this was gonna happen. At the present time, the 67 Chevelle Pro Street stash is at a current rate of 45. So,
oh man, I didn't know that.
I have actually built the first 67 Chevelle Pro Street all the way from start to finish, and it's out there on the table today. So that's the first time I've ever built it, but I always robbed that. But as far as the large stash, I do keep quite a good amount of kits at the house. I call it my junkyard. Gary, I know you do a lot of one-to-one. You're out scavenging, parts, and that's what I do. I'll be talking to Brian or somebody. I'll be like, oh, got to go to the junkyard because I got to pull a kit to find, because I'm pretty much will know what's in each kit, and then if I decide, I'm gonna sell it, I'll be like, I can't sell that. I can't give it away because I know I've robbed a part out of it. So, but yeah, I never would have thought that my garage would look like a hobby shop. I'm like, golly, man,
You need a hobby.
I do. I have several. There's another one, it's behind me. There's another hobby in my group, right behind in my hobby room. That's where all my pew-pews are at. So that's another conversation. All right, gentlemen, how far have you, or do you have a limit as far as how far you'll go out for a model show? Kelly?
I usually try to keep it as a day trip.
Yeah.
My wife is very supportive and loving. Now, we just heard about one that's going to be in Abingdon, Virginia, and that's stuff for her to do and me to do.
Yeah.
She's attended this show with me 2 years ago, and she was literally bored to tears. So, she loves my hobby and she supports my hobby, but she just don't want to come with me to my hobby.
Yeah, we have to have.
I'll drive 2.5 hours. I'm planning on going. I'm hoping, God willing, I will be at Cartersville for the Mid-Atlantic. What do they call it? Acme.
Yeah.
Acme show. Yeah, Acme.
I got the logo on right here.
I'm hoping I get to go to that this year.
I hope you do. I'd like to see you down there. Gary, how about you?
How far am I willing to drive to a show?
Willing or have you traveled to a show?
I've traveled across the states for a show before.
Wow.
In and out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I've done that. And if I'm by myself, I'm willing to drive 2 or 3 hours. If I can get somebody to ride with me, I will drive for 2 days.
I'll give you my number here for you.
Yeah.
I want to go to In-N-Out. That's one of my bucket lists, is do that. Rocky, I ain't even going to ask you. Heck, you come from Virginia today.
Well, on an average, just the average shows, the daily shows, like I say, anything we can drive to in a day, we do a bunch of those, or even down like this one, we come down yesterday to be here early this morning. But once a year, we have to try to go to the IPMS Nationals, and that can take like
depending on where
4
it's
years
at.
ago,
Yeah.
we went to Vegas, which was 3 days out and 3 days back.
Yeah.
So we were gone 9 days total.
Wow.
So,
So you're a traveler. As far as mine, I'm with you, Kelly. I'll tell you, I've got great support. Vicky is, if it wasn't for her, I don't know what hobby I would really be doing, but she really supports this one. But it allows she and I together time. Will she come to a show? Yeah. She'll come to the Atlanta show as far as the our Acme show, which this year it's in Cartersville, and it's a beautiful area, I might add too, especially during the fall. Oh gosh, the trees are just beautiful up there. But we travel. The furthest she and I have went is Jacksonville. to the JacksCon show, and that's starting to be a popular show also. So we've been having we make that a good that show's in January, I believe. So it's time for us to go. Man, we're ready to go to Florida by then, and we'll turn that into a 3-day show or a 3-day trip, 4-day trip like we did it this year. But I do, Gary, I'm with you, man. I'd like to go to one of the NNLs. That's one of my bucket list shows, as well as the Buckeye Classic. Man, I've always been invited to that one. I just never partook in taking the time to go up there. Let's see, number 6. Do you prefer building cars, trucks, or anything else other than those two?
Cars and trucks. I've stated on my channel hundreds of times, I'm an old truck guy. I love an old truck. I love shiny old trucks. I love patinaed old trucks.
Dirty old trucks.
My criteria is they've got to be low. I just love a lowered old pickup truck. But like I said, I brought 2 trucks today and 4 cars. So it's just 2 station wagons, 2 cars.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm a car and truck guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably 90% cars, and then I sprinkle it in with pickup trucks here and there.
Dirty old truck.
Yeah.
Rocky, what do you do?
I guess mainly just cars. I've done cars my whole life, but occasionally I'll do a truck, so it's probably 7 to 3, cars versus trucks.
All right.
So.
Well, I'm a weirdo. I do cars, trucks. I've never done a motorcycle. I don't know. There's just something about a motorcycle I just can't build. I don't want to try, but I do build the occasional plane. I do like building the little small vignettes, little tiny figures. Charlie Mack's going to probably strangle me because I jumped in on the D-Day build and I bought 1 figure and he's like, really? Is that the best you can do, Pappy? But but I do actually enjoy building those. Those are kind of a slump buster for me. But love my trucks and love my cars. When you do your paint jobs, number 7, do you prefer a bright color paint job or kind of I wouldn't call it a drab, but something like a blue, a black, or what?
When I'm building cars, I like the Pro Toured style. So I'll do like a factory color. So, but I've done. I did one of my Ford trucks in an olive drab, but it's clear coated, so it's bright. I like patina. I've got a red rusty truck isn't as bright as a red truck, so it's I'm sick. I love cars, trucks. Whatever.
That's why we do this, because
exactly.
It's what? Oh, wait a minute. That sounds like Lucas C. Because it's fun.
It's fun.
I'm a bright color guy.
Oh, I love you.
Yes.
Now, the thing is I know that when I build a model and paint it, there's a good chance I'm going to put it in a contest.
Yeah.
And I want my model to be seen from across the room. So my cars will be sparkly, they'll be bright,
words of wisdom,
shiny, and they're going to draw these. You could win a contest with a really nice paint job over a nicely detailed car.
Right.
The guy could detail the heck out of his car, but if it doesn't have the paint on it, it will get looked right over.
That's why I do these questions and answers right here, folks. This is you're so right.
He's an award winner. He knows.
He knows. This gentleman right here.
If you look at my cars, and you'll notice the paint job is one thing, and the detail is very light.
Yeah.
Very light. I might do the spark plug wires. I might run the gas line. I'll do the radiator hoses. But other than that, very rarely will I put linkage and everything else that the really detailed guys do to their cars. I focus on the paint, and that's what wins me when I win.
That's right.
That's the paint.
I cannot agree with you any better.
Doing factory stock cars, which is mostly what I like to do, there's not a whole lot of change you can do with the cars, but I do like to do the cars that you don't usually see on the tables, your reds and blues. But it's like what he was saying, I try to make something where when they're walking down the table, you're going to see it 2 tables before.
It's going to stand
I
out.
want them to go straight to it. It may not do nothing, it may do it, but like you said, a lot of times it does if you get that first impression. So that's what I do.
I agree. Same for me. Hence, Pappy Red. And people ask me all the time, you know, why do you paint so many red? Well, it draws you to it. Now, Gary, I'm glad I'm going to piggyback off what you said, because it was, I forgot who told me that one time, but when I first started going to model shows, that was one of the things somebody said. If you want somebody to look at it and draw them in, it's got to be shiny. Shinier than a diamond in a, but that's, a bright red. I am going to delve off into, which our theme for the Acme show this year, in the October show, is 60 years of Mustang. And I haven't built one yet. I haven't built a Mustang, but I'm thinking about not red, y'all. I know y'all probably going, God, it's going to be Happy Red. No, it's actually going to be Battleship Gray. A lot of the newer cars that you see coming out now, I call it's a haze gray. It's what it is, but it's very shiny. No chrome. I'm going to darken them. The bumpers are going to be black, but they're going to be gloss black. So that's what I'm thinking about for that. So y'all don't hold me to that, because it might not get built. Oh, man. Number 8. How long have you been building models? How about you, Kelly? I think we've already.
Yeah,
that was the second one.
April 1st, 1970.
Oh, God. That's, yep. Yeah, we're old.
Well, I keep math in my head, so -6 from 54 years.
I'm not even going there with me, because I'm going to really tell my age. How about you, Gary?
I started building models at about probably 6 or 7 years old until I was about 11 or 12. And then I didn't touch another model until I was 32 or 3 years old.
Yeah.
I happened to run across an ad from somebody that had a monkey mobile for sale.
Oh, wow.
And so I went to look at this monkey mobile, and this guy had a whole room full of cars, model cars. And so I buy this monkey mobile, and he says, well, bring it back when you're done with it. I'd like to see it. And then he tells me, you ought to put it in a contest. I had no idea there was contests.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking I'm going to go to a contest with a bunch of little kids. I'm 32 years old.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, no, man. He goes, they're your age, and they're up, and they're...
Yep.
And I started going to a show out in California at the IPMS shows, and I was hooked ever since. And I've been building them ever since.
Yep. Rocky?
Like I said, I got started when I was about 5, 6 years old, and I just turned 56. So you're looking at 50 years, give or take.
Yep.
So.
I can relate. I've been doing it I just turned 61. So I think the beer wagon from my neighbor, I think he that would have been around 68. So I'd have been around 5 or 6, somewhere in that avenue. But you get bit by the other fumes, the car fumes, the perfumes, right. And then something else comes along, and and then that hobby goes to the wayside. But now that I've gotten back into this, and Gary, I'm with you, man. I didn't know, I never would realize, a lot of people think, we play with toys, which, technically they are, but I mean, you go out there and you look at the level of detail compared to what we all put on a model now, compared to, gosh, man, I wish I had the money of the ones that I would either light on fire and roll down the hill, or sit out there with my BB gun and shoot. So, I've been at it a while. Number 9, and this relates to, do you prefer going to the mom and pop hobby shops, or shopping online, or we're out here shopping out here today? So, how about you?
I love mom and pop shops.
Yep.
We used to have one that was within walking distance of my house in Old Fort. Sadly, it went away. I do mostly online now. I'll buy from Wes.
Wes is my.
Or I'll buy from Jamie at Fast Tracks and just pick them up at a show to save myself. But so that's usually how I do it.
Yeah. How about you, Gary?
I will do a little online stuff, but I'm a touchy guy.
Oh yeah.
I like to be able to pick up that product and say, is this what I need? Is this going to work? Is this going to... Or you're sitting at home waiting for the mail to come and finding out it's not what you thought it was because you can't touch it.
Nope.
Yeah, so I'm a mom and pop guy.
Cool. How about you, Rocky?
I guess all three. Like I said, in town, we've only got one hobby shop left. I can remember at one time we had 6 or 7, when I was a kid.
Back in the day.
So, but the local hobby shop, our mom and pop, he supports our IPMS club, so we
That's
try
awesome.
to help him. And like I said, online, all the, you know, Wes's, Fast Tracks, model car,
Yep.
one in Georgia,
Cartersville.
Spring page. So,
Yeah, I know.
but anyway,
But they're few and far between as
Yeah.
far as the brick and mortar type.
Yeah, and then of course at the shows, there's certain vendors that come to the shows that try to buy
Yep.
from them show to show. You know,
I
all
love
of them.
I love hitting them all. Yep, same here, man. We ain't got no brick and mortar type, you know, mom and pops anymore around local to us. There's a few that are starting to pop back up, but you know, with COVID and all that, online really, you know, I did a lot of it online, and you know, I really don't consider, you know, hobby, you know, like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. They're a craft store, but you know, do they carry models? Yeah, you know. But when you go in, and this, it's funny. I can go to a Hobby Lobby, you know, where I live, or I can go to the one where I vacation at. I always look for, every time we go on vacation, Biggie's like, if I got to find all the Hobby Lobbies, yes ma'am, you do.
They might have a 67 Chevelle.
They might have a 67 Chevelle that I don't own yet. That's so true. Number 10, the last one, gentlemen. What's your favorite model car magazine? That's a killer.
Well, it used to be Scale Auto. I'm a member of Spotlight Hobbies.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, I lurk there a lot, and so many groups on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
I don't subscribe to anything. Sadly, I'm part of the problem. You know, I don't subscribe to anything because I see so much content online. You know, I've seen a lot of the cars that are out there. At this show on Facebook already. You know, and I love Gary's Canned Heat. I saw it before I got to this show, and you know, I just got to come and see it here in person. So
that's always awesome. How about you, Gary?
I was a big Scale Auto fan forever, and not so much Model Cars magazine. Although recently, in the last couple of years, Model Cars magazine, what was it, Greg Hutchins? I think
Greg.
Greg has really stepped it up.
He has.
I mean,
I agree.
It's a great magazine now. So yeah, that's my new favorite.
We're very blessed and honored to have Wes Hofsper. He's the I forget what his title is with them, but he's a member of the Acme Club, and I'm always getting to shoot the crap with him at the meetings each month. But he's big supporter of our club, but glad to see that model magazine succeeding like it is. How about you, Rocky?
I was always a Scale Auto enthusiast lover, and then like I say, the model cars, they came along. And what Gary was talking about, it seems like in the last couple of years they've upped the ante and more consistent. So, you know, they're my favorite now. Of course, that's about all we've got. When I do get fine scale, and mainly to see the techniques where the armor guys are using, because you can learn from some of that.
Sure can. As far as me, Model Car Magazine, not because one of the gentlemen that's in our club, Wes, but they've upped, like I've said, they've upped the game. They've got consistent. That's the biggest thing, is having a consistency of when you're, you know, it's coming out, and too, they're very supportive of all of our clubs and. You know, putting the shows. I know Tom Valenta's out here, and I know he's submitted for fine scale. When I go to Hobbytown USA, that's what you was trying to think of a minute ago. But I always try to, you know, when I go to Hobbytown, I'm like, hey, magazine out? Yep. So, or that's another reason for me to go up there and buy another 67 Chevelle kit. So, but gentlemen, I really appreciate this. And this is actually this was the first 10 questions with the modeler I did was here last year, and I had Mark Batson, and I had Brian at Got Fuels, and I had Matthew at Model Car Video, and they're out there again today. They was like, we're going to, nah, y'all done y'all's time. So, but I do appreciate y'all doing this. Folks, I'm going to drop a link down here at the bottom, wherever there's the bottom. I'm going to drop a link to their channels, which we got Model Car Archaeology, Mr. Kelly Coons, got Mr. Gary Seeds at Hanging with Mr. G Seeds, and Star City Modeler, Rocky Raccoon right here. So we'll get those links dropped down. If y'all not subscribed to them, get subscribed to them. Good to see y'all at the show today. Let's go out there and have some fun and spend some money. As I always say, folks, if you can dream it, build it. God bless y'all. Happy out of here.